Hello, my name is Mehmet. Today I'm going to teach you how to play basic equations in academic games. The objective of equations is to use your math skills to try to find a solution to a given goal while subduing your opponents. Before you begin, make sure your game set has 6 red cubes, 6 black cubes, 6 green cubes, 6 blue cubes, a timer, a flub cube, and a game mat. Additionally, you'll also want to have a piece of paper, a pencil or pen, and a score sheet if you're going to keep score. This is what one of them looks like. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to play a game of equations. Equations is between 2 to 3 players when you're playing, not 4 players. So in the beginning of the match, each player will take a red cube and roll to determine who will be the first goal setter. The highest value who rolls is going to be the goal setter. So in this situation, player C would be the goal setter because 1 is higher than 0. So you want to be the goal setter because when you are the goal setter, you have control over what the goal is, so you can set a goal that's comfortable for you and that could stress out your opponents. So player C got lucky in this case. So now player C would pick up all the cubes in their hands and would roll them. And you're only allowed to roll once. So player C would have 2 minutes to set the goal, and throughout the game, certain things have time limits. So players can flip this timer. It's 1 minute long when they want to time somebody, just to enforce time limits. When you're setting the goal, there are some limitations that you should follow. Firstly, your goal has to be between 1 and 6 cubes from the cubes that were rolled. Additionally, your numbers that are used in the goal can be between 1 to 3 digits, but can't be 4 digits or higher. Also, the goal has to be a mathematical expression. Like, if I were setting the goal and I did 9 times divided by 3, this is not mathematically correct, so this would not be a valid goal. Finally, when you're setting the goal, any cube that touches this little mat here, this little area, or any part of the mat for the matter, has to be used in your goal. So even if you accidentally put this multiplication sign on the mat, you would have to use it in your goal, so be careful. After you're done setting your goal, you'd say goal set. Since player C rolled the red cube and got the highest, they would set the goal. So in this example, player C would choose to set 3 plus 1 as their goal. When your goal is ready, you say goal or goal set, and within your 2 minutes, and then the goal will be set and the order of turns would begin. Now that the goal is set, you should start thinking of some solutions that equal the value of the goal. In this example, the goal is 3 plus 1, which is a value of 4. So some possible solutions for this goal would be like 2 plus 2, 4 plus 0, 2 times 2, 8 divided by 2. There are many, many options when choosing a solution for your goal. So now that the goal has been set, the order of play goes clockwise, starting from player A because player C set the goal. So player A has to take one of the cubes from the resources and move it into one of the 3 spaces in the mat. If they decide to move a cube into forbidden, then that cube cannot be used in your solution. If they put a cube in permitted, it can or cannot be used in the solution. It's up to you. And if they put it in required, then it has to be used in the solution. And any cube that's in required and not used in the solution is incorrect. Let's say that player A put the division sign in forbidden. Now, this division sign cannot be used in the solution. However, the other 2 that are in the resources still can be used. Now, let's say that player B, whose turn it is now, moves the 5 to forbidden. Also, one other thing, you can do a bonus move on your turn instead of your normal turn. When you do a bonus move, you can actually move 2 cubes onto the mat instead of 1. Let's say that player C, whose turn it is now, wants to do a bonus move, and they want to move the 9 and the multiplication sign. They say bonus move, and they put at least one of the cubes into forbidden and put the other one in any section they want, which is required. After player C's turn, player A is going to do 7 into permitted. Player B is going to put the 2 into required. And now a challenge can be made. A challenge ends the game in equations. When you want to make a challenge, you pick up the flub cube, which is this little sponge, and you make your challenge. There are 2 types of challenges, challenge now and challenge impossible. In this case, we're going to do challenge now. When you call now, you claim that you can make a solution that equals the goal by using all the cubes or any of the cubes on the mat except for the ones in forbidden, and by using at most one other cube in the resources in your solution. When writing a solution, make sure to use the cubes in required and don't use the ones in forbidden, and you can use at most one from resources. That's very important. Now, when you challenge against the player who moved last. You can't challenge after you move because then you'd be challenging against yourself. That doesn't make much sense. So let's say that player A challenged against player B, who was the last mover. Then player A would have 2 minutes to write a solution to give to player B. Player C is called the third party. Since the player C is not the challenger nor the defender, player C has his time to decide who to join, player A or player B. If they join player A, they have to write a solution to give to player B. If they join player B, they just wait for the challenger solution. And you actually write a solution on the paper, and it's pretty simple to write it. Let's say that I was player A and I was writing my solution. Inside of my paper, I would look and I would see I can do 2 times 2 equals 3 plus 1. Sorry, my 1's kind of looks sloppy. And I circle my solution. I recommend circling it. And then that's what you give to your opponent who is going to check it. Before you give a solution, check and see, use the cubes in required. I use the 2, I use the times sign, and then I get one other cube from resources. I'll take that 2 from there. Yep, and I'm ready. So I would be ready to present that. When you're ready to present your solution, or when time's up, give your solution to the player who's going to check it, the defending player. And when you check, now let's say I was player B now. I shifted from player A and now I'm in player B's position. Now, in order to be a good checker, there are 3 main things you should look at in a solution. The first of them being that the actual value of the solution equals the value of the goal. In this case, 2 times 2 does equal 3 plus 1. 4 equals 4, so that's correct. Next, make sure all the proper cubes are used. I'm looking and I'm seeing the 2 is used from required, the multiplication sign is used from required, all the required cubes are used, none of the cubes from forbidden are used, and then he gets one more thing from resources, so he's using the 2 from there. Yep, the cubes are checked. And the third final thing is making sure that the solution actually equals goal. When writing a solution, you can easily lose a shake just because you did not have the equal sign or you didn't have solution equals goal. If I had wrote 2 times 2 equals 3 equals 4, that would be incorrect because the goal is 3 plus 1, not 4 directly. So make sure to write whatever's on there as your goal. So player B would look and say, I accept because the solution's right. Player A would win. Let's say that player C decided to side with player B. Player C would also lose. So now that the match is over, we have to score the points. If you have won the shake and you are correct, you receive 6 points. In this case, player A would receive 6 points because they had a correct solution against player B. So you'd write 6 in their spot there. Player B and C they were not able to win, and because player A had a correct solution, and they call now, so they would get 2 points. And that would be that shake. As you can see, this is shake 1. If you play more and more, you'll put different scores in, and in the end, you'll add them all up to see who wins. There is another challenge that you can call, which is impossible. Impossible is pretty much the opposite of now. It's when you think that there is no way any solution can be formed using any of the cubes on this mat. So let's say that a player wanted to call impossible. then they would take the flub cube and say challenge impossible. And they are claiming that there was no solution that could be formed using any of the cubes in required, permitted, or the resources. The defending player, who was the player that moved last, has 2 minutes to write a solution to give to the challenger who challenged impossible. It's similar to now, except that you are allowed to use all and any of the cubes in the resources. However, you still have to use all the cubes in required. And now you can only use one from the resources. In impossible, you can use however many you want. That's the difference, and it goes pretty much the same way. Now, you might be wondering, what happens when all the cubes run out? Like, what if you move them all? That's called last cube procedure. We'll go over that in a different video. That's more complicated, but this is the basic equations for you. Thank you. I hope this video helped you, and stay tuned for more content on equations and academic games.